sketch. The surface I'm using is sandpaper. Okay, so these trees out here are way in the distance, and I'm only going to be using them as a background, so there's going to be no detail out there, hardly at all, just a hint of what's going on. Notice that leaves sort of holes, if you like, because it's just picking up the texture of the paper. Now, those textures are very, very useful, but not in the sky. So I'm going to have to work a little bit harder into it. Can't leave more blue coming through there now. This is a very simple sky because I don't need a complicated sky with such a busy scene just down here. Fairly good reason for that. I want a little bit of white as well as the white in the water. It just gives a little bit of, almost as if it's clouds boiling up behind here. Now, I'm going to start now to work on the trees. Gated from doing the bigger areas are really precious. And this one now has become my favourite, and I mourn the ones that go, disappear after a little while because they've been favourites for a long time. They seem to have a sort of magic to them that I can't get with a new stick. So now I'm going to come into a greeny grey. This indicates that the trees are getting a little bit closer. Solid. Now this tree will come over this, so I'm that's just a background there. And also, as this tree will come over there, I'm going to soften that there a bit. That also helps to push that area back, which is as a background, if you like, for what's going next. And the mid-tone green-grey goes in there next. Now, as I said, there's hardly any detail going in back here. It's all to do with colour. You can substitute a lot of detail with colour. Colour can be very effective, and texture, of course. Instead of drawing every little stone, use a texture effect. I've got a little bit of blank over there, so we'll just deal with that shortly. Now, I don't want it all the same colour all the way across, so let's put in this nice little purpley grey colour, this one like, I think it's called purple brown. It's a Dale Rowney colour, and it's rather nice. It's a sort of the colour you get on in the spring on the birch trees on the ends. I don't know if you've noticed it, that very beautiful purple colour. I want these two trunks to stand out very strongly, so I need to keep that pale behind. So you have to consider this as you go along. How is that going to stand out? What needs to go behind that? It's almost the reverse, really, of working in watercolour, because I can work light over dark, which you can't in watercolour, so I can go back and forth if I want to on the screen as well, because I'm looking at it from a slightly different angle, which also gives me a fresh indication of where I'm going with it. I'm going to finish that little bit off over there. What I want to do is have a little bit of an edge of sunlight on the grassy bits. Just a snicker of light feeding through there. A little bit of purple grey. That was a dark green grey I used then. Now it's a little bit of purple grey. And a little charcoal pencil, lovely sharp point for some of the finer branches. And this looks, that's starting to look really good now. And now I'm going to just smudge some of it out and lose some of it so that it sits back a bit. Now, just to emphasise that flicker of light through there, I'll just put on a bit of this very bright green. Obviously what I need to do then is to put in some of the colours which are reflections work through there.
Get some green?
A bit more green, I think. I can build it up layer by layer. I can go on like this all day if I want to. But if you want to be very precise with your reflections, and it's actually quite effective for getting a really strong drag on there. But like I say, you need to just lose that bit. And this doesn't matter here because I'm going to go over that in a moment. Now it's rather nice because we've got a bit of sunlight coming through here to catch that edge there and use a bit of complementary colour. So I'm just going to put in a slightly darker background tree, and that will emphasise the light that I'm going to put in here. Purple and sort of yellowy green being complementary. So you see how beautifully that stands out one against the other. Dark shadowy parts. So I'm going to be using those dark colours down here around them. So shadow underneath the tree in very pale bluey colour. The vertical water which is not foaming. This adds a bit of contrast in there, otherwise it's just a white blob. I want to show the force of it. That's what's exciting about it, the power and the force. So most of it around this side isn't important anyway. It's not going to show. And a bit of purple grey. This is all for to give this feeling that it's in the right in the foreground, and to stand out again, make it stand out against this background here. It disappears into the foam down here. And just here and there, where the water's not quite so disturbed, there'll be just a hint of a reflection of the rocks. And what I'll do is I'll just resolve that like this, and then go over it again, so that the ripples disguise it a little. It's just a hint of it, because this water's not really still enough for much of a reflection, but it does help to have a little bit of contrast in there, otherwise it's just all this white. Just to make it look like the foam is more three-dimensional. Well, I don't think I'm going to do any more to that now.